Happy Thursday and welcome back to the You Good Podcast, the podcast where oversharing is encouraged and the thoughts get real. I'm your host, C-Rod, and this week I've got one of my closest friends on the planet joining us, Michelle Londono. If you know anything about my life from college to adulthood, Michelle has been there for the highs, the lows, let's be honest, the absolute chaos, and the quiet rebuilds in between. We talk about friendships that grow up with you, the memories we think we remember from our wild college days, her experience as a world traveler, and how age can actually feel like leveling up instead of slowing down. Welcome to episode 22, What We Learn on the Road, featuring Michelle Londono. Let's get into it.
I don't wanna live where I always feel broken. I just wanna live with a heart wide open. I don't ever wanna feel fear anymore. No.
You start the banter, Nick. You start
What?
just getting into it.
No, I
Give
hate
me-
when
give me
we
something.
just do that. When we just get into it.
I always ask you, how are you? I always ask you about your life.
I know that is true. How are you doing today, Chris?
I'm not going to answer that question.
No, of
So I
course
was
not.
talking
Of
to
course
Chris.
not.
I was talking to Chris Sarametta today, who had seen Chris Marrero at what's
Warped
that
Tour.
emo? Yeah, the Warped Tour. And so we're actually talking about me coming home so the four of us can link up, get together.
Nice, yeah. He hit me up to get Marrero's number. So
He didn't have Marrero's number?
I
What a
guess
terrible
not.
friend. What a terrible friend.
Well, he does now. He's good
He's
now.
good now. All right, great. I think that we are getting back to having a guest on. Well, I don't think, I know that we're getting back to having a guest on. I want to say that this guest is like this episode may be very similar to our episode with Hugo, right? This guest has been with me since day one, even earlier than day one at college. But she's been involved in my life a lot more than Hugo was or has. I don't really know how to say that. I promise I love you, Chris. It doesn't mean as it doesn't sound as bad as it hopefully sounds, or doesn't sound. I don't know. But you know, she is a world traveler. She is the godmother to Kinsley, right? Right? That sounds right. And you know, I
Like, you don't remember?
I have 3 kids, man. It's really hard to keep up.
Dude, it's 6 people. I mean, I don't know how that's
Yeah,
difficult.
but one was 10 years ago. I mean, let's be honest. We've already talked about like how shot my memory is, and we'll even figure out how more shot it is than I think when we start talking about college and stuff with Michelle, because I know that she has a much better memory than I do. Anyways, got on long enough. Welcome to the You Good Podcast, Michelle Londono.
Thank you. Very excited to be here.
I'm excited that you're finally here. I know we've been talking about this for a while.
No, with so many reschedulings, my fault, but glad we made it happen.
You're a busy woman. You have a busy schedule. All I can say is thank you for putting a few hours aside to be on my measly old podcast.
I am a fan, so happy to be here.
One of the rotating openers that we do before we get the episode started is a one-word mental health check-in. And it's really just a word that either you've been feeling today or lately, you know, within the past week or so. And I'll go ahead and start with Nicholas, but Michelle, I'll come back to you and kind of put you on the spot next. Nick, kickstart us with one-word mental health check-in.
Here I am thinking you were going to volunteer to go first.
Never that.
One word. Lately overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
A big part of the end of the year, though.
Yeah, unfortunately. I think it's just because a lot of multiple aspects. So I think that's why it's just a lot. Just life, work, like everything all at once type stuff. So
yeah. Is it a manageable overwhelmed?
Sure, yeah. I was looking. I was like, well, what? It's not whelmed. I'm definitely not whelmed. I'm definitely over right now. I'm overwhelmed. So,
I'm not whelmed.
but it's okay. It's definitely something that's definitely manageable and something I am managing. It's just a lot, and you put me on the spot. So I guess the last few days, I guess, would be overwhelmed for sure.
You think best when you're put on the spot.
No, I mean in a good way though. I mean it's definitely all positive stuff. It's just I'm busy, so
Yes, yes, yes. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. You're right. The end of the year is very overwhelming. If there's any way that I can help out, or if you need to talk about anything, you know that I'm here for you. It's a hard time of the year.
no, I appreciate you. No, I promise if it's anything that's not manageable, I would let you know.
Michelle, how about you?
I'm going to go with revitalized, which is refreshed and excited. And like I got my spark back. I was a bit down the last couple weeks.
Yeah,
Just had a lot on my plate. And I just feel more like myself again.
that's amazing to hear. What has changed to make you feel more like yourself again?
I actually wasn't really going to talk about this, but I was seeing someone
Okay.
the last couple months, and I just ended it like a couple weeks ago, and it was fun, but he just didn't like appreciate who I was. I think like he would make comments that I was like high energy and intense, and be like it's not in a bad way, but after a while, like sometimes those things can like take a toll. I
Absolutely.
didn't like who I was becoming in that relationship, and I like clocked it very early and was aware of it, and so I let it go for a little bit, and then finally I'm like, hey, this is not for me, and I did what's best for me. I ended it, and I was obviously sad about it, but I have a great support system. Ski season just started. I have so much to look forward to
Ski
the
season
rest
just
of the year.
started.
I have like trips, so I'm like, all right, bye.
That'll help the heart, right?
Yes.
Nothing fresh powder can't fix.
Nothing fresh.
Exactly.
But in all honesty, I know how close to the chest you play relationships, so I appreciate you sharing that. It is definitely nice to hear that, as we round out the year, that you're feeling better and better about yourself, going into 2026 with fresh powder and fresh hope.
Yes.
My mental word, my one word mental health would be optimistic. I'm going to go with optimistic. And I know that you asked, Nick, so I'm going to direct this right at you. But my word is optimistic. And then you ask why. I just put myself in the eye.
Why are you optimistic, Chris?
Closing out the year
Chris-
strong. What? Aside
Oh,
from
after
just
you,
poking,
after you just poked
myself.
yourself in the eye.
Yeah, did you guys see that? That really fucking hurt.
Yeah.
God, I'm gonna have to edit so much of this episode. Optimistic because I just found out this week that I got a promotion at work. I got a title
Nice.
increase to director and a small end of the year bonus. So
Nice.
yeah,
Congrats.
Yay!
dude.
So proud of you.
Yeah.
I know you've been working so hard.
thank you. After 2 layoffs in 1 year, it's really nice to have been with the company for a year as of like 2 weeks ago. So it was during my 1 year review, and she had just informed me that leadership was talking and they had approved, because of all the work that I had done. And it was just very nice going into the next year, knowing that leadership has finally taken heed of what I do. And it's much different than probably like the last 4 years of my life with the uncertainty around work. So optimistic.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
I appreciate it. So that's our one word mental health check-in. If you're listening, throw your word out there. Maybe if you have to talk to it or tell a person about it, share, how you feel today, have felt this week, have felt over the past week or so. But what I'm really excited is to dig into the guests this week. We're going to get into some college stories. Michelle, I want to ask you real quick before we get into the meat and potatoes of it. Uh, I was doing some searching through our Facebook wall. I don't know when the last time was that you looked through it, but I started taking note after Mike Gore came on, and I was like, man, like things get really chaotic from like 2009 to 2012 on Facebook, because that's when there were no like replies or comments. It was basically a text message thread where you had to write on somebody's wall, they had to write on your wall back. So nothing makes sense at all. But when's the last time you looked at our friendship thread?
A couple weeks ago when I was looking for pictures for you to post, because I had to, see those first. And wow, like I have no idea what half the things were. Like it was the most random, like, and I don't know why we weren't texting and we were just writing on Facebook back and forth. But from parties to the middle of the day to like, it's chaotic,
Yeah,
but funny.
yeah, it is funny. Since we've started doing this, Nick, have you gone back to like any of your friends' Facebook walls and like seen what I'm talking about, like just how crazy it is from back in the day?
I did mine. I looked all the way back to like my first post, and then
Okay.
just and then like what people were commenting and stuff. Like I wasn't too off the wall, but like there's definitely comments for sure.
Well, there's a lot that you can't see, so you should go find like your closest friend that maybe you could remember that you had the most Facebook interactions with, because I know you're not a big social media guy. And when you go to their profile, there's like a little dot dot dot, and it's like see friendship. And when you go to the see
Okay.
friendship, it's only going to be between you and them, and you can scroll like all the way to the bottom.
Oh, did not know that.
So where I was going from all of that is our first post was, "Hi Michelle, I told you I remember who you were. Don't doubt me." March 16th, 2009. Does that mean that's around St. Patty's Day that we met?
For sure.
Do you remember the first time we met?
No, I don't.
Okay. That's fine, because I don't either.
Okay, good, but I do have a terrible memory, and everyone knows that.
But actually, that sounds wrong, because then like 3 posts later it says St. Patty's Day ? We're gonna rage. And then you get,
let's be honest, we probably met at like Scoop or something.
yeah. Well, it's funny because then the next post is like, "I'm so sorry about last night. I completely backed out. I'm just getting home. So happy birthday." And you're like, "So not half blackout, the full blackout?" ? This goes back to another segment of Facebook memories. Okay.
Jesus.
I'm telling you, Nick, it's crazy. It's crazy out there.
I just look back on one of my friends, and I'm like, man, there was nothing there. But I'm like, I'm glad I could look at like that. I'm like, that's
nothing
good.
there. For mine, Michelle's, I had to scroll for like 10 minutes.
No, dude, it was one like I was maybe a quick flick of the wrist, like to get. It was nothing. Like I was like, oh, okay.
So
but it went all the way back to like inception of Facebook, so I will take that.
Speaking of, all the places that Facebook has taken us, that life has taken us, let's just get into it. And what I want to get into is starting off in college and the college chaos that ensued. Unfortunately, we don't know our origin story.
Nice.
But do you at least remember who first introduced us?
I will say it's safe to say it was a Kappa Sig event, because Lydiana and Tati's cousin Mario was a brother, and I became friends with them, and I would go with them to Kappa Sig event. So it's definitely that.
Okay. Did you meet me or Fruckman first? And Mavig, because I think it was through Mavig.
Mavig was way later.
Later.
I knew you.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Because like you and like Alvaro and Eric, and then a little later is when I met Mavig when he moved into the compound, or like the
Buck compound
house area.
So that was the first time you met Mavig?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And crazy because how close we got for not having known each other for so long.
And I have no memory of anything, I guess. My timelines are like all off.
Yeah.
I'd really like to get down to that. So to the bottom of that. So if you are out there and you're listening and you were one of the first people who introduced Michelle and I, please let us know how we met each other, because I guess we're just all off. But it's crazy because even though we can't remember our origin story, like I can't remember college without you. You know, whether you were just at our house, you know, we were going out together, we were drinking during the day. At one point, you know I had class with your sister when she finally came to college, you know, so we would meet up on campus. What do you remember, I guess, about early on and just being around the Buck compound the most?
I would say those are some of my best memories from college. Meeting you guys and your friends and your group. That's what I remember the most. Like being, and it wasn't just the parties. The parties were epic, of course, but after classes, we would go and we would hang out and we would watch movies or cook or do stupid things. I remember there was one time I made a bunch of you watch Human Centipede at the big house, and everyone hated me for so long.
Yeah. So that was actually one thing that I had found where we were talking about like Human Centipede 6 or something and being part of it. But I do remember watching that movie for the first time and like how disgusting it was. Have you seen that movie, Nick?
Oh, dude, that movie is super disgusting. I'm like, I didn't have any interest in watching any of the other ones. I think there's like 3, maybe even more. I was like, I'm good.
my
first one.
My favorite's the South Park episode.
Oh, South Park's pretty. With the iPads.
Yeah, the iPad. We're like, oh, you signed up for it, and then it turns out it's like the Human Centipede.
Yeah, it's in the terms and
terms and conditions.
Yeah, terms and conditions. User terms and conditions. User agreement. That's what it is.
It's just very funny. I think about the selective memory problem because, like I said, you know, I think about Ultra and I think about like all the music festivals that we went to, all the parties that we had, and I can never pinpoint like one place or another of you not being there. So it's very funny when you also don't remember the first time for us meeting.
Yeah, I remember a lot. Same, likewise, a lot of like different parties and trips, and like even Bahamas and stuff. But the meeting, I don't. Oh, you know, I do.
Oh.
Was it spring break, Bahamas, when we all took that cruise down?
Did I not know you then? You were there.
I was there, but I feel like maybe we met on that trip and then came back.
Okay, how about this question? Did you ever come to my apartment at Knight's Crossing, or what was the other apartment in Science Drive? Did you ever go?
No.
Okay, so that would have been Fruckman's apartment at Science Drive. Alvaro's apartment, I think Alvaro lived there too.
No.
Okay, so then you only knew us in the Buck compound.
Yes.
Okay, that changes a lot. We'll figure that out. What was your favorite memory from the Buck compound?
There was this one time. There's so many, but one of them that I loved is, which we would do like every December after Christmas was over, we would burn the trees out in the back and just like sit with the lawn chairs and then have like a tree burning party. That's probably
a tree burning party.
And Dora was living at the house too.
Yeah, didn't we get the ambulance or fire department called us one time?
Yes.
I was gonna say that never ends good. Burning trees in a residential area.
But what I did love is like I was individually, I had a really good relationship with everyone that lived in your house. So I would like go and hang out with you, or I would go hang out with Eric, or go and hang out with Pat Lee. And you guys are all just such great quality men that I've seen, or that you were like, you know, boys back then, grow into these men. So it's been great. I still have very great friendships with the majority of you.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't even have to be home. We'd like come home from class and like you'd already have been at the house for like hours. I was like, oh, Michelle's here. I was like, hey, Michelle. Like literally just like one of the boys.
Yeah.
Do you think, our friendships have evolved over time? Well, I guess let me ask this in a different way. One of your like superpowers and one of your super qualities is that like you can stay friends with everybody and anybody. Like I don't anybody that's like ever met Michelle Londono, I like they're still friends with you. They're, oh yeah, I saw Michelle or I talked to Michelle and I'm like, damn, like I haven't seen you in like 10 years, but you've talked to Michelle like 2 weeks ago. Like it's crazy. Like do those friendships that you've carried for, I don't know, what are we at? Almost 15 years or so now? Do they evolve with you because like your life is super hectic, your life has changed a lot, but do you force yourself to like keep these friendships, or what's it like to, I guess, navigate all of these different friendships? Like you have so many different circles of friends and you seem to like keep them all together. How does that evolve with you over time?
Well, there are definitely some boundaries that I had to put up. Because I mean, I would love to stay friends with everyone, but being connected takes time and effort, and it can be mentally exhausting and like emotionally draining. Because not everything is going to be like rainbows and butterflies. People are going through things. So yes, my friendships have evolved. There are some friendships that I've had for years that I am no longer really into. And like, if I see you, will it be like it's been a day since we last saw each other? 100%. But the keeping up and the texting and the calling and stuff, I have like started to safeguard like myself because I was giving so much, and to the point where it was affecting me. But like obviously I don't show it. I deal with it in different ways. I either like write about it, or I do therapy now. But you have to protect your peace.
Yeah, that it's so Nick and I, like Nick, we've talked about this, right? Being the strong friend or being like the friend that keeps the glue together, like how mentally
Hmm.
draining that can be on you, right?
Yeah, I mean, it seems to like weigh on you a lot more than me sometimes. But no, I've come to the realization like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and other people are gonna either they're gonna do what they're gonna do, and it's not up to me. Uh, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm gonna do. It doesn't matter what they do. It's not gonna change that. So if I want to reach out, I'm gonna reach out. My biggest pet peeve with all that though is like people who complain about not talking to you. It's like, why don't you just reach out if you thought about me then? Like, why are you complaining about
Mm-hmm.
not talking to me? Like, if I thought about you, I promise I reached out. I'm not gonna sit here and talk to Tom, Dick, or Harry and complain about it.
So the travels, right? They started pretty early on to where, our friendship had to change because you moved to Chicago first, right? You're out in Denver now. It's, we sit here and we say, "Oh, we don't remember when we became friends," but you're the godmother to my firstborn, my oldest child. Why do you think that certain friendships survive even though like our memories have faded of our very early memories, where a lot of our memories are adult years?
I think, like in our case, it's involvement into our personal lives. Like, yes, we were friends, but like I'm so close to your parents. Before I moved to Denver, I went to see your parents and had dinner at their house. And your mom was at my dad's funeral, and same thing with Kelsey. Like, you brought Kelsey into my life, and I've spent holidays with you. We've done birthdays, births, so many like intimate moments.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like our friendship. And same with most, like all my friends that the girls from college, my best friends. Like, I have been at every wedding, bachelorette, babies, birthdays, girls' trips, 35th birthday. Like, so I feel like the involvement into the personal life is what maintains longer lasting friendships.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And I mean, I can appreciate that because now, like thinking about it and just going from our Facebook wall to kind of talking about the progression here, it's funny because I can look at some of these pictures and I can remember, that we were at Scoop or that we were at TD's or whatever, we were at Ultra, but those are like picture memories. Most of the memories I have now, like you mentioned, are our adult years, like seeing you in those intimate moments and catching up with you. I just caught up with you a few months ago out in Denver and just rehashing life now and not life 15 years ago. And I think that's the difference between a relationship like ours and somebody where, we were just friends in college to where we have those memories now that we can talk about. Whereas I have other friends in other circles where the only memories that we can cling to are those ones that we had in the bar, 15 years ago. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was there any moment where you guys realized this friendship was like lifelong and not just for a season?
You go first, Michelle.
I think it was after college, and you moved to Tampa, and we still continued to just hang out and be friends. Like, what is that? Gasparilla stuff. We would still go to festivals, but then even like your graduation party at college, things like that, like with your family and your very, very close friends. That's when I was like, and we just hit it off. We may not talk all the time, but when we do, it's one of those where it's like nothing happens. But I feel like I see you or talk to you so like regular more than most people.
Yeah, I can agree. I feel like really early on, we had a very good connection. There's a lot of inside jokes on our wall. There's a lot of, pillow talks and heart to hearts. And you were always just somebody that especially back then, I didn't open up like I do now, but I never had an issue like talking to Michelle about the deep stuff. And I think you're right. At my college graduation party, not a lot of people were there. It was a very intimate group of really close friends. But then even I think for me, obviously, was, when Kinsley was born, all of the times that you were around her and going out to the bars, even after Kelsey and I separated, where it'd be me, you, and her just at like the brewery. And it's like, okay, Michelle is not somebody that I have to like be the strong friend in the relationship. Like it can be her at times, it can be me, but we could not talk for like 6 months because we know how hectic life is, but we also know that like, hey, I can call her and even if I haven't talked to her in 6 months, like she'll answer right away and vice versa. Mm-hmm. So I would say it was pretty early on transitioning out of college, going through those life events and that's kind of where it was for me as well.
Nice.
That's a good question. I guess, talk to me about how interesting it is to like keep a connection with Kelsey. So for anybody who doesn't know, Kelsey is my ex. We were together for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. I introduced Michelle to Kelsey because, she was one of my friends. She hung out with us. We had a kid together. Kelsey and I separated, but it's still to the point now where Kelsey and Michelle are still very good friends. Kelsey, was going out to Chicago to visit when Michelle lived up there. Michelle flies home to Tampa and like sees Kelsey, spends the night at her house, hangs out with her husband and stuff like that. How is that weird? Is that a different dynamic? Do you know a lot of people that have that kind of dynamic?
I don't, and actually, I'm so glad you brought that up because Liliana was like, I hope you speak on that because it's so different. And I use your co-parenting as an example to so many friends because it's incredible to have seen the projection of that because in the beginning it was not good. Like, that like it was a very hard time. And so you introduced me to Kelsey. Kelsey is an amazing woman. She has a lot of emotions and she loves deeply for those close to her. She's not like Chris and I, where it's like, let's let everybody in, let's have all just like be friends. She's got her few friends that she's close, and she's die hard, ride or die for them. And so we just developed a friendship, and then she had Kinsley, and she was always so like, come see Kinsley, come play with Kinsley, invited me to the birthday, so inclusive of me, just from just meeting me. And so, but I do remember this talk that you and I had when you and Kelsey were going through separation, and I asked you, I was like, is this uncomfortable for you? Like, let's talk about how to navigate this. And you were like, I'm like, it sucks and it's an uncomfortable position, but like, I'm good. Like, I have like, your parents, or you have your guy friends, or whatever. And you were like, Kelsey loves you and she needs you more. Oh my God, I get emotional about it. Like, that was like such a selfless conversation. And you were like, she would just like, it would just be like, she needed me, or like, it would just be more like, I don't know, beneficial, better. And Kelsey's been incredible. She's an incredible friend. Like, she visited me when I moved to South Florida, visited me many times in Chicago. She's going to come out to Denver at some point. She's maintained it. But it was never like, never did I sit with you, Chris, and you would like bash Kelsey. And never did I sit with Kelsey and she would bash you. Like, you guys were just trying to figure out how to co-parent. And now I think that you're in a very happy relationship, and so is she. And I love when I see the pictures of you guys at like taking Kinsley to the theme park or the kids or the holidays. Like, that is, I've never seen anything like that, and it's incredible. And it's not awkward. Like, we all sit around, we joke, we have all these mutual memories, and you're just as friendly with her husband now, and Callie with them. So it's really inspiring.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I do remember the conversation because, Kelsey always had a small. I'll never forget planning our wedding, because we did start to plan our wedding, and a part of that is choosing the what's it called, bridesmaids? No, not the invites. The groom's party, the groomsmen or groom's party or whatever.
Bridal party.
Bridal party, sure. So mine, easy, right? I name 5, 6, 7 people right off the bat that I have to have there, that I want there. And I remember that she's like, oh, can we make it smaller? Can we do like 2 or 3 or 4? Because she just didn't have that many girlfriends. She had a lot of guy friends, but she didn't have that many close girlfriends. But one of the people that she wanted to pick, after only knowing, in such a short time, was Michelle. And it was like my cousin Candace and Michelle and her cousin Whitney, and she was like, well, I could ask my like guy best friend to be in my side, and I was like, you got to know some other females, and she just didn't. So it was very easy for me to like share that friendship, because like, as much as we hated each other back then, like, I know what your friendship means to people. And I think that was like an anchor for her to be able to have a girlfriend, even if it was by association, because that relationship, that friendship grew into a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, do you know anybody that their ex is like still friends with their best friend, or?
Aside from you, no. I don't think so. Like you're like, I think I've told you the same thing before, but it is a testament to like you guys. But I mean, that alone, like, to be that selfless back then, to be like, hey, like, she needs you more than I do. Like, yeah, it's just more, I guess, like I said, more like you guys as people than anything else.
Yeah. It's definitely a crazy friendship, relationship, us, and what's evolved. And let me ask you, Michelle, what version do you appreciate more, C-Rod or Chris? And there's no wrong answer. You won't hurt my feelings.
I think it depends, like, on, like, obviously, I would say C-Rod when we're at, like, our party stage, like, because, dude, you're so fun, you're so funny, like, I have raged with you so hard, so many times. I would, we can go on trips together and it's a blast, but now that, like, we're older and we're just more in tune with our emotions and connecting more. Like, I really love like the deep conversations that you and I have. Like, even when you were in Denver, like, even like, yeah, we catch up here now and then, but when you were here, we sat and we talked for like a long time about a lot of things. And I just appreciate that in my life so much more now. I'm trying to be a lot more intentional with my friendships because, I mean, anyone can have superficial, like surface level talk, but after a while, like, that's kind of boring.
Yeah.
And now with people having so much going on and not seeking help, or, you know, maybe they don't have the right tools, when someone like comes to me and like really sits down and talk, like, I value that so much more.
Yeah. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let's transition to, you know, speaking of everywhere that life has taken us, life has taken you in much crazier places than I have ever been. And I want to talk about, you know, your life travels. You know, we'll talk about maybe things that you've learned around the world. And I just want to get into the I, I don't even know what to call it, because it's not wanderlust because you live it and you do it, but just, you know, let's talk about Michelle's world travels. Um, what what started your passion for traveling, and, you know, how are you able to find so much time? I always make the joke of like, I see Michelle travel more than she works. Like, I don't even know what Michelle does, but I know that, like, hey, it's, oh, today's a Tuesday. Well, where in the world is Michelle San Diego? Uh, because it's true. Like, you would think that this girl has unlimited PTO everywhere she goes, because it's always international travel. But let's start there.
I guess so. If I come out and say it, I'm a trust fund baby because I know you guys have all been wondering that for so long. And I'm just kidding. You don't have no idea how many times I get asked that. Like, legit. I think your dad even asked me once. But
How can
what
you
I
afford to
do know
travel?
how to do, yeah, no, like, he's like, are you a trust fund kid? Like, how can you afford to travel? And well, a lot of it, you know, those memes where you see people on like ski lifts with their like computer and stuff like that. That's definitely me. Like, my friends make fun of me because I'll be like with them, or when I'm in South Florida working from their home, whatever. I'll like hop on a call and like I won't say anything at the end. I'll be like, oh, nothing from legal, and they're like, you didn't even do anything, or like, you're here with your computer. They're like, do you even work? But I do work. I work very hard. I just know how to balance it out. For example, if I could take 15 tasks and spread it over 5 days, like, I could knock them out in 1 day, 2 days, and then that gives me 3 days to just relax or do whatever. So there are days when I sit down and I'm 12, 13, 14 hours, but that's not glamorous. I'm not going to post about that on Instagram. I will just post when I'm doing the fun stuff. But I go into the office twice a week. I've had jobs that are fully remote. So that has helped a lot too. And I have a lot of PTO.
Oh yeah. So you end up okay.
But then back to like your original question, like what sparked my love for travel? Honestly, books. I am a huge reader. Like, my mom like will tell me, like, in elementary school during lunch I'd be like reading everything. You know, part of the reason why I became a lawyer is I read To Kill a Mockingbird, and I was like, oh, I want to be the next Atticus Finch. But I immerse myself in these books that I read, and I like travel to these places. So a lot of the books that I'm reading, they're not just fiction, like nonfiction. So I would travel back to like 1800 Paris, and as I would read books, specifically like the Dan Brown book, like Angels and Demons, and where he would like go around to different cities in Europe, and like they're trying to solve mysteries, I think. And he's writing about this painting that you see at this museum. So I would keep like a list of where this is. And eventually, once I was like, had the money to travel and stuff like that, I would go to these places that were on my list. And like, I never take travel. I've been all over the world, and I never take it for granted. Like, every moment and every monument is so special to me because I understand how lucky I am and blessed that I'm able to do that. And I just soak it all in.
That's awesome. I never thought to travel to the places I've read about. And like read about a lot, and like now that you said it, I'm like, oh my, that list just got way longer of where I want to go, because I already wanted to go to places, but now I'm just like, oh, these very specific places in these countries that I never thought I would want to go to. I'm like, yeah, no, that'd be awesome to see what
It's so special. in
Envisioned.
Chicago. One of my favorite books is Devil in the White City, and the book is about half the book is about one of the first serial killers in the U.S.
Okay.
or ever. Actually, they think he was Jack the Ripper. But then the other half is about how Chicago was built during the World Trade Fair. They got the bid, and then they were rushed to build this skyscraper city. And so I'm reading about these architects like Sullivan who built Chicago and how they would get together at the university club, and then I would have like a networking event at the university club. And like, these men sat in these seats, but that I get that from reading and from traveling. And that's how I always feel. It's so cool.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's now I want to read
Slightly
that
nerdy,
book.
but
Now I want to read that book.
highly recommend. Eric Larson's an amazing author.
Is that the book that you told me to read when I was out in Denver?
Probably.
I don't know. The only place that I've traveled to visit something that I've read or watched was when I went to Chicago and went to all of the Dark Knight filming locations.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I've traveled to Malta, which was the original King's Landing for Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I nerded out over that. I even went to like Littlefoot's brothel, and then King's Landing was later changed to Dubrovnik in Croatia because they brought in sand and destroyed the like ecosystem. It's a UNESCO protected site, so Malta kicked them out.
Good. Have you been to what's the place where they all live with the red roofs? With the roofs, clay roofs, where they walk the shame. Come on, guys, somebody help me out here. Where do they live in Game of Thrones?
Oh, yes, that's the shame stairs.
Yeah.
And the castle wall, King's
Landing. At King's Landing,
like before.
Oh yeah, it's
yes.
Yeah, I was like, that's what she already said. So I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh yeah, King's Landing. Yeah, no,
Yes.
Where she already visited.
We were there, and one of my best friends, Kristen Soto, I will never forget this. We were just bar hopping, and like we love to like cocktail hop and food hop and this around the cities. And we kept going past the stairs, and she would be like, shame, every time we did it. And like literally the fourth time she's doing it, one of the guys like sweeping, and he's like, enough already.
Oh my god.
We get it.
Just imagine how many people there, daily.
Like, enough already.
Enough already.
Enough.
I love that. Well, tell me your top 3 destinations and why.
One of them would be Vietnam. I went last year. My younger sister and I
Goddamn Vietnam.
did a Southeast Asia tour. Love it. So I read a book before going. The book is The Women by Kristen Hanna. And they spoke a lot about the war. And, the war where we probably shouldn't have been in. But it's neither here nor there. But it was a very brutal war. And I didn't know a lot about it. I knew a little bit of it going in there. And we get there. And Vietnam just opened up for like tourism not too long ago, so it's not overrun yet by tourists, and these are some of the most friendly people that I have ever met. So kind and so open. But this isn't like Ho Chi Minh City or Hoi An, like these bigger cities. Once you start going up towards the north, and that's when you're heading like towards like Korea and stuff like that, people are less friendly to Americans. But I loved the culture. It's my favorite food. I love Vietnamese food. But it was just so wonderful to be there, and it's stunning. So diverse. But one of the places that I went to was there's a museum dedicated to like the war, and you really get to see what happened. And that was shocking and so sad and devastating. And you still see the effects of Agent Orange or Agent Pink. Like, part of the tour that we did was go to the Coochie tunnels, which is where the Viet Cong was living, and it's just under these tiny tunnels that you could barely fit through with like scorpions and spiders. So we went through that, and we saw the traps that they would set for American soldiers. It was a very, very brutal war. That's
pretty insane, and it's crazy. Like, right, because you could go to a Vietnam museum in America, but it's going to be a completely different perspective than it would be seeing it in Vietnam. Have you seen the
But
movie
in
Good
that-
Morning Vietnam?
No, I haven't.
Oh, well, classic comedy from Robin Williams. Just don't shake your head, Nick. It's a Robin Williams film.
But that was a little somber of you to bring up, but the country is amazing. It's so cheap.
Yeah, that's
to
what I'm
be
saying.
there.
She's somber moment. You're like, oh, have you seen this comedy with Robin Williams?
Yeah, 'cause I have to
No,
Good
it's
Morning
good. Let's keep it
Vietnam?
light.
You
Keep it
gotta
light.
keep it going,
But,
right? We can't be sad. You gotta bring it back up.
Nobody was being
we got it, yeah.
sad. It was just somber.
Yeah, she's like a really terrible war and Agent this.
No,
Yeah, that's
but
what
the
it
food is
was.
great.
She said the traps that they set for us too. It wasn't great for us. We lost. It might be the only one we lost. Like, they beat our ass. So yeah,
Goddamn
no,
Vietnam.
it was fucking.
But
That's the thing. Like,
wonderful
nobody wants to
country,
admit it.
highly
No one wants to
recommend.
admit that we lost.
Oh, Nick has a really hot take on the Vietnam War.
He does.
I've never seen this emotion from him.
She was right. We shouldn't have been there. It was.
I
stupid.
don't disagree.
It was so dumb, and then we lose. But our books won't tell us we lost. It's like, no, we lost. We got our asses kicked on a place we should never been. So you're right.
But I highly recommend for everyone to visit.
Yeah, I'm sure it's beautiful.
It's so
yeah.
it's so cheap to be there. We were staying at like the best hotels for like $100 a night, $150 a night, like unheard of. So that, like, as a country, is one of my favorites. I also love Mexico City a lot. Very diverse. I think it's the city with the most museums in the world.
Wow.
The food scene is top, and the cocktail bars are amazing too. And it's such a vibe to be there. Everyone's friendly. Everyone's in a good mood. You have, museums, food, cocktails. You have pyramids. There's also this tiny town, like an hour away, called Xochimilco, and you can go and you can rent these all the colorful wooden boats that just go down the river. And you bring your own food, you bring your own drinks, you bring a speaker. You'll be like going down the water, and like mariachis will just hop on your boat, play some songs, and pop out. So that's a city. I was there for work last week, and I had an amazing time again.
That's awesome.
And
Hey,
lastly, I would say Colombia, and not because I'm Colombian. I might be biased.
Bogota.
But Bogota's one of my favorite cities, but the country is so, you could do like snow stuff, you have like metropolitan, you have jungle, you have the coffee area, you have beaches. One of the oldest cities in the world, Cartagena. The people are so vibrant and so kind, and it's so, every time I go, you're just in a great mood.
Yeah, Chris wants me to go skiing in Colombia with him. Like, it's even, I think it's crazy that like you can put skiing and Colombia together.
Yeah.
Is
I want to go skiing in Chile next year.
Chile. Were there any? So when I traveled to Thailand, that's like my only experience traveling abroad. I learned a lot about Buddhism, right, and a lot of cultural lessons from Thailand that I enjoyed learning about. I enjoyed picking up. What would you say is maybe your top one or two cultural lessons that you've picked up from outside of the United States?
One of them would be to slow down. I feel like you see that a lot in Europe. Like, something as simple as like a 3-hour lunch. Do we need a 3-hour lunch all the time? No. But people in a lot of these other countries like fully enjoy their time. Versus here in the US, I'm so guilty of this. Like, we're always running one thing to the other. Like, work, meeting, this, that. And sometimes you just don't stop and like sit in the moment. And I feel like in other countries, they do focus on that. Like, meal times are very sacred. Like in the Japanese culture and the Asian culture, like you sit and you enjoy it versus us scarfing down a sandwich in 15 minutes to get to the next
Fast
meal.
food.
I don't even, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So just slow down and just to be more open. When I travel, I haven't done a lot of solo travel. I travel with my friends, or my sister. She's my best friend and my favorite person to travel with. And I'm focused on us, like you and I in this experience, but to just be open and meet other people. And I have had such incredible memories from just talking to someone who will then invite you to dinner at their house house. Or like I was in Turkey once and we met the shop owner and he invited us for coffee in his cave house. We like went and sat on rugs in this cave and just had coffee with someone who didn't even speak English, and we made it work.
That's
Yeah,
wild.
that's awesome.
Any other wild stories like that? Like, do you have any wild stories or scary stories?
Um,
Have you ever traveled to a place where you felt unsafe?
Have you almost
Like
been
to
No.
be
taken?
there?
no, I'm very aware of that. Actually, I did have this one time, which is in a country we didn't even think about. Like, had this happening really, I think, in Italy. We were in Florence and we went to this club. And when you go into the club, they give you like a little ticket. And so when you get drinks, they like hole punch it. And that's how they keep track of it. And I was with a friend who was like very inebriated and she, of course, lost her ticket.
Mm.
And we went to leave and I paid for mine. And I'm like, okay. And she couldn't find her ticket. And they would not let us leave. And it became like a whole thing. Like they shut the doors, bought bodyguards. And I'm like, what are we talking about? Like 40, here's 50 euros, whatever you need. And they were like, no, she needs her ticket. I was hysterical. I was like, I need to call, I need to tweet, like I need to call the US who's gonna get me out of here.
I need
Like,
an embassy.
Anything.
I need an embassy right
And-
now.
as I'm and like the guy would not leave us out the door, like physically like blocking the doors. And finally my friend decided to just find a ticket on the floor, pick it up and pay for it. But that was like, yeah, that was very, very, very scary for us. But aside from that, I'm not scared. Like when we travel, we
That's good.
travel to like pretty safe countries.
Yeah.
It's just a difference in culture too. So one
How
of like
many?
a weird. How many what?
Countries did you just say?
I did.
Oh, I
No,
thought you
she
said
said so
But-
many countries.
Oh, I thought you
So
said-
many.
oh my! I was like, I saw 40. I was like, what?
Almost, but soon. We were in Turkey with my girlfriends. We had gone to a wedding in Israel, and then we went to Turkey. And Turkey, again, also another country that recently opened up for tourism. So we like Istanbul, metropolitan city, you'll be fine. But we were going to these like smaller ones, and we went to one called Cappadocia, which is where all the like the hot air balloon pictures are, and
Okay.
these like cave things. But our guide was telling us about how the women are, they're very, not old school, they're just very sheltered. And so what they see in movies is what they think American women are like. So
Oh,
they're just like,
no.
oh, parties, drugs, promiscuous, all this stuff. And I'm like, oh,
Oh no.
maybe, but no, that's not everyone. Like, and so he was telling us that. And one of the days in Turkey, we were in Bodrum, on the Mediterranean coast, and we hired this. It's called a gullet boat, which is a wooden Turkish boat that was used for fishing, and now they do like luxury charters. So it'll take you out with your group, and it'll have a chef and a captain. And so we go out, 4 girls and these 2 men, and we're just having the time of our lives. We're like drinking, we're swimming, and we're friendly. So we had like brought tequila, and so we offered the captain like a shot, right? And the chef like 1 shot. And that's it. And then later on, as my friends and I are drinking in the front, like we see the captain run out and like bring his own little shot glass and like start pouring tequila and just partying with us.
And you're like, who's driving the boat?
Who's driving the boat? And he wouldn't let like the chef come and party with us. And then we were like, okay, we definitely have to make a divide. And then at the end of that tour, like he helped us because his friend owned one of the hottest restaurants there that we didn't get a reservation and we wanted to. So we asked him to set it up. And we're like, okay, bye, it's nice to meet you. And we get to dinner, and as we're wrapping up dinner, we see the captain walk in, pull up a chair, and sit at our table with us. And we're like, oh, hi. And I think his plan was to party with us the whole night. And we were like, definitely not. So we tried to like avoid him by going out the back exit. He found us and was following us. And it got to the point where we were like, turn around, and we're like, no.
And where was this?
No. In Turkey.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Like, that was creepy.
That was super creepy. He probably thought you were a bunch of promiscuous
Oh,
females.
and as he walked in, he was like, "My American girls," and we're like, "Oh no, no."
My American girl. Oh,
No OnlyFans here. Wrong accounts. Sir.
Oh my
Wrong
goodness.
accounts. We pay for our own way here, not a sugar daddy.
Has
Oh God.
has traveling made you more patient with people or less?
More. I remember there's a specific instance when I took my friend to Colombia, and we're so used to everything being here like 1, 2, 3, like on a computer done. Versus there, we were like changing flights and upgrading seats, and for each individual transaction, we were at a tiny airport. They were like, okay, you need to go walk over there and do that. So we're like, okay, fine. For the for the change of flight. Then again for the change of seat. Then again for the change of class. And I remember just being so frustrated. And I'm like, this is so ridiculous. This is such a waste of time. Like in America, this would be done in 10 seconds. But they don't have the systems. Or yeah, it's made me a lot more patient.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Nick, did you have any more questions about travel?
No.
Because I wanted to ask my last one, and I guess I frame it up this way: is, your home, your family, there's in Orlando. You've lived, across the United States since college. You're traveling across the world. Do you think that home is a place, or do you think that home is a feeling? And how do you find your sense of home with how often, you're in the air and on the go?
I think it's both a place and a feeling. Like, I definitely feel Orlando is home just because my family's there, but I have so many friends there. But I mean, it's also a feeling. It's like what you make it. Because I remember, like, in Chicago, I was traveling a lot when I first moved there, and it didn't feel like home for a long, long time. But the more, I think it's the people. I met an amazing group of friends in Chicago, like lifelong friends of like there's like a group of 15, and that's also what I see home. And now living in Denver, do I feel like this is home? I think I do. I've been gone a lot for like work travel lately, but my favorite part is coming back to Denver and like being in my bed. So I feel like it's both a place and a feeling.
Do you think you'll ever be back home in Orlando, like for good?
No, I do not. I'm definitely like a mountain girly, and Orlando's way too hot. I mean, you never know, but I don't think so. Like, my brother is probably about to move out. My sister is going to move out, like, Orlando too. And then I feel like my mom eventually will go to Columbia. So,
yeah. When you ultimately have to put your roots down, where do you think that? Where do you want that to be?
I mean, I hope it's here.
In Denver?
I don't want to move again. Yeah,
brother.
I'm putting down the roots. Yeah, I'm not. I don't like Chicago. Was like a great city. It was great growth for me and stuff like that. But I really like the mountains are so healing for me. I hike every weekend of the summer, and it's not even like if you're not into hiking, it's fine. Like you can be into skiing or just being outside. I love how athletic everyone is. It's in Colorado. And over 300 days of sunshine. You can't beat that.
Yeah, how easy it is to be active
when it's not 107 degrees out and you sweat going to the mailbox.
It's a choice here. Yeah. It's 1,000% a choice down here. Like, I'm gonna die, but I have to.
Actually, back in the day, Denver was a spot that I wanted to move to. It's a beautiful place, but ultimately, I don't. Callie and I will probably find mountains a little bit closer, Tennessee's, Carolinas, or something, North
Amazing.
Georgia, just to stay on the East Coast. Appalachians. But yeah, Denver. I love Denver. It's always fun to visit. Always fun to be at. If you do live there, I'll have to come out and visit more. I love that.
Yeah, it can be a little different. The people are very different, but kind.
Yes, the people are very different. Have you experienced hot springs around there yet?
I have. One of the most beautiful hot spring I've ever been to is Strawberry Hot Springs in Steamboat Springs. Mm. It's absolutely stunning and majestic. And the first time I went, we went at like 4 p.m., so like right at sunset. No one was there except for my friends and I, and it was lightly snowing, and you could just see like little mountains, the 3 hot springs, with like the snow falling. It was a Hallmark movie.
Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah, the one of the I don't remember where we were, but we went to a hot springs in Denver, and they're out in the middle, of nowhere, and it wasn't snowing actively, but it had just finished snowing, so it was still cold out, but there was still ice caps on the mountain. Just a beautiful, relaxing place to be.
Yeah.
Nick, have you ever been in a hot spring?
No.
I
I've been to
encourage
Colorado
you to.
like 3 times, 4 times. So
Well, next time you go,
Next
I
time,
encourage
let
you
me
to
know.
visit a hot spring.
yeah, no, it sounds majestic. I will say it was like the first time I ever felt like I was in Narnia was
Yeah.
in Colorado for sure, because we went from like not being in snow or anything, and like 2 seconds climbing up a mountain, being engulfed in snow, and like a creek. I was just like, this is fucking Narnia. Like, what is this? This is insane. I can't breathe, but what is this?
I can't breathe because we're so high up. I've never had trouble breathing there. I actually, and being for somebody that has asthma,
you clearly weren't doing anything active if you weren't breathing.
I was breathing just fine.
Yeah, again, you weren't doing anything active then.
Skiing. I was there for skiing. Okay, that's pretty active.
Okay.
And hiking. Fuck you, Nick. Fuck you.
Wow.
Let's.
No, the one time I couldn't breathe. I sprinted up like we went off the trail to smoke, and I was going up like a 45 grade, and we like stop, and I'm like, okay, we're not going anymore. And next thing I know, they take off again to the another section, and by the time I get up there, I'm literally crawling. I'm like, I can't. I need like 10 minutes to catch my breath. Like it was fucking terrible. I'm like, this is absolutely the worst. I can't even smoke. I can't breathe. The whole reason we're up here, I can't even do it.
Let's wrap it up and go from world travels to life's timeline, we'll call it. Right? I had mentioned to Michelle at one point about how just like I'm getting older and things are getting harder and my body's breaking down, and she was like, "Oh, well, I'm the complete opposite. I'm aging so well. I'm in the prime of my life, and I'm just in such great shape." And I'm like, well, shit. Talk to me, Michelle, like, and all jokes aside, I know that, physical fitness and taking care of your body has been something that's been very important for you for a while now. And let's talk about just aging well and being better now, being more in your prime now than maybe 10 years ago. And what does that look like for you between, now and 10 years ago?
I think 10 years ago, like, we were young, so we could recover so quickly. Like, we would party, and the next day it'd be like nothing. Now it's definitely different, but I just feel like when you have a lot of movement, whether it's at the gym or yoga or even like something as walking 10,000 steps a day, that just, like, I just feel like it makes you feel so well. You look well, you kind of like maintain, because I understand a lot of people don't have time to exercise, but I feel like any type of movement, any point of the day, it's just beneficial.
So you mentioned yoga and exercise, and you are a foodie. Absolutely. Like, you're one of the people I can be like, hey, I'm going here and here. What kind of food is the place to be here? How does traveling impact, your lifestyle of trying to stay fit and trying to find time to exercise and eating all of this food that you do eat, but, still staying, in shape? Why is that funny?
I don't know. Next
because you're making it seem like all she does is eat. I'm sure she doesn't.
Bro, I will get you her Instagram, and you can follow her, and you tell me that she's not eating.
It's
good.
Probably like me. You work out so you can eat whatever you want. Like,
exactly.
That's why you do all this shit. You do it so you can. You're like, I'm falling apart too, but like only because like I'm active and like things are hurting because like I'm out doing shit. Like my ankle hurts, but like I did shit all weekend, so
Like this girl's in like she's eating like 13-course fucking meals at 5-star restaurants over
yeah,
here.
but dude, courses are fucking like a bite. Like, have you never had a chef's dinner, bro? Like, they're not fucking massive.
No,
dude.
sometimes it's a lot of food, but I'm thankful that when I travel with friends that are very open. So we do like a ton of shared plates. Like I can't even remember the last time I ordered like an entree for myself alone.
Yeah.
So we'll like do a lot of that, but in traveling, like we're walking a lot. I'm a morning person, so I like to wake up. Not every time, but like I do exercise on my trips. Like I remember my sister and I went to Asia. We were taking Pilates classes because private classes, instead of being like $300, were like $30 for her and I. So we would take all these Pilates classes, just take advantage of. Why not? But I definitely do love to try, and I don't. Sometimes I'm guilty of this, which is terrible because it's like wasting food. But I'll just go somewhere and I'm like, I have to just try this. Like, let me buy it and I'll have a bite or two, just to have it. Because if I'm on like a foodie tour and I'm having a bite at every single place, like
you can't eat everything.
Yeah. How has your diet changed with your age?
I definitely stick to like proteins and veggies. I was like vegan for 2 years and I loved it, but it's just so hard to travel with that. So for the most part, I'm like pescatarian, vegetarian. I'll try to eat red meat every now and then when someone's like, this is an amazing steak place, and just to keep my iron up, but it's not like my favorite. So a lot of fish, a lot of veggies.
See, Nick, travel does affect
a lot
your
of
diet.
Caviar. It does.
It's a good question. It's good.
Again, the way you phrased it just made it sound like she's over here just stuffing her face all the time and not doing anything else. And I'm just like, I'm like, I don't see that.
Okay, you have to see my Instagram. When you see my Instagram, you'll be like, got
it. Okay. Well, then I'm sure then you just work hard to be able to eat then. Like,
what does Michelle? What does aging well mean to you? And do you think that there's a pressure that society, with Instagram and everything, especially on females, puts on you to age gracefully and always be ready for the camera?
Yeah, I think that's just like with all of these. Like, look at Kris Jenner. She's 70, and she looks like she's like, I don't even know, 40. But that's a lot of pressure on someone. Like, people can't afford to always do these like surgeries that they're doing. I think that if you exercise and drink a lot of water and obviously try to like regulate your stress, which is so hard, like it's so hard to not be stressed, but like a lot of that has an effect on a person, because I've seen friends age so much because of super stressful situations they went through, and there's nothing that you can do for that. But try to like, I feel like therapy is so important. Talking to your friends is important. I recently started journaling because my friends told me that that's something that helps too. And I feel like a combination of a little bit of all of that allows you to age in, a graceful way.
Interesting that you bring up journaling. We had just touched on that with Dimitri, Nick. I'll ask you a question that I asked him. In your journal, I know that you said you're newer to it, but do you ever go back and like read your past entries?
So because I'm so new to it, I don't have that to do that, but it did happen to me the other day in that relationship that I was in.
Yeah.
And I was just shocked by what I wrote. And I was like, wow, this just reaffirms a decision that I'm about to make. So I think, and I was like a little sad for what I had written. I was like, wow, that's not me. But I'm glad that I'm aware of it. I'm glad that I journaled it. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That I was able to go back and see that. And I was like, cool, I stand by what I'm about to do and keep it forward. And then I do go back, and now like my happier entries are my favorite. Like, wow, it's just nice. I'm like, that was a great day.
Yeah, that day was awesome.
Yeah, it's beautiful. What part of yourself are you growing into now? Like, what are your expectations? I guess post this new relationship, you're in a new city, you're with a new company. What does a full, healthy next era look like for you?
I think what I'm working on now is like vulnerability and being more open. It doesn't necessarily have to be just in relationships, it can be in friendships too, and it can be at work as well. My younger cousin has 2 daughters, and she just like created this, I don't know, like a course or something on how to speak to your children about emotions. And she had posted about it on Instagram. When I saw her first post, it was like, in our family, because this is my dad's side of the family, she's like, emotions weren't really talked about, and vulnerability was not something that was like encouraged. And she wrote it like Londono, and that's my dad. And I'm like, wow, same, 2 different households, very similar, and that stems from my dad's family. And a lot of our cousins are in that, and I was just shocked. And then I sat down and I talked about it in therapy, and I'm like, I understand now why I am afraid to be vulnerable sometimes. Like, maybe it wasn't like if I would try to be at home, it wasn't, or maybe they just didn't work. My parents were not equipped to handle it well or teach me. And so, I feel like also through what I've seen or work and stuff, vulnerability can be seen as a sign. Like, people can take that as your weakness and use it against you. And I think that's why I'm also have been afraid to be vulnerable. But the more I work through it and actually talk it through, it's been so like a weight lifted off my shoulders.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of this journey here has been about vulnerability, and it's not even about just like what happens on the mic, but the conversations to set these up, and some of the conversations I have post when I connect with friends who I haven't spoken to in 10 years. And I'll tell you that being vulnerable has probably been one of the best choices I've made, because it's also less stressful. You're not holding in emotions, you're not wondering, what does this person think of me, or did I do something wrong here, which is the same thing I used to do, where you hold it all in and you just internally compress it, and you're like, all right, you start making shit up. But now you're like, hey, let me get to the truth and find out like what that truth is. Right, Nick? Go ahead.
No, yeah, no, I tend to now try to dive deeper than just the surface level emotions, and like find out why you're feeling those surface level emotions. And yeah, I go to therapy, but I know that Chris had a problem with therapy, and I know that this was his therapy in a way to get his stuff out. And I found it therapeutic as well. As much as I work on myself and other things, like, this is therapy. I mean, talking about, like you said, the not just the stuff on air, but I mean, we'll get on here beforehand and just talk about what's going on in each other's weeks or days, or like what's coming up, or
Yeah.
are we gonna go see a Magic game, and stuff like that. So it's been super super nice.
Yeah, and vulnerability too. And Michelle, you were a part of this story, but I have a mutual friend, Nick, with Michelle. His name is Vinny, and we set up like weekly check-ins. And just, he's somebody that I hadn't seen in almost 10 years. I reconnected with him out in Denver. And because of like this podcast and mental health, it was like, hey, I want to like connect with you every week. And kind of the same way you and I do, Nick, here, we connect every week. I do it with him on video, and we make sure, we talk about what's happened, what's going on, to stay vulnerable and be in that person's life. So I think that's really important, Michelle.
I do too. It's not easy, but it's so free to do it.
Do you feel less stressed?
It's not like I've been like the most vulnerable for like all this time, right? I've only like been for like 2 or 3 months, but I do feel a lot better, and like you learn from it, and like every time you do, I know that like, because I would overthink a lot of things and then internalize it and like go into these insane spirals that like it's not good for anybody. Like, I don't have time for that. And so to make an effort to just address it, like the first time it comes up, or maybe the second, like you're still going through the same anxiety. So just do it in the beginning rather than 6 weeks later after you've gone through 20 trips, like driven yourself crazy.
my anxiety has pretty much disappeared since just embracing that. Like, just
I love that.
I can't control it. Like
Mhm.
I have to. But no, I was the same way. I would overthink everything. And then like you said, spiral, and because I would hyper fixate on this thing that I can't even, that might not even happen. It might not, but I can
Yes.
guarantee you that something negative is going to happen because all I'm thinking about is this. So, no, a lot of work to get there, but it's very freeing once you're there.
Mhm.
Like you said, it's different.
Do you guys think that this is aging beyond aesthetics, right? So this is what aging looks like outside of looks.
For me, I think I maturing. I would say like it's definitely. I think it's finally like emotionally being mature. I think I don't let the emotions control me anymore. Like you did, like I did. I mean, not I said you,
Yeah.
but like I
Yeah.
did. I think we all have a part in our life when that's a thing. At least men do. But learning that, like, oh yeah, no, why am I feeling this way? It's okay to address these things. I'm not weak for addressing these things. So, like, basically contradicting everything you've ever heard about mental health.
Right.
I think that aging is maturing. I don't see aging as a bad thing. I know it sounds like aging, we're getting older, but aging is maturing. Aging, there's a reason why it says like aging like fine wine, you just get better and better. And I truly, truly feel that. Like I feel like now that people being more open or talks of therapy or talks of growth and things are just more prominent now. Like we are focusing as a society on ourselves more. There are a lot more people in therapy, and not therapy isn't for everyone, but there are a lot more people reaching out to their friends. There are a lot more people reading self help books,
Yep.
listening to podcasts, and all of that. And so I think that it's aging beyond aesthetics. Like, yeah, Botox and this will keep you young, but I just feel like if you try to just live this like positive life and take care of yourself and your body and focus on your friends and your family, like you age amazing.
Getting deep, Michelle.
No, I'm here for it. I know right now I'm probably in the best shape of my life, and I'm 3 years away from 40 or 2 years. Jesus, almost and I'm like, but for me, I'm like, it was a choice. Like I'm like, I gotta do better. I have to just try. And like you said, I think earlier on, like just moving. I try to tell my mom. My mom complains all the time. I'm like, you don't do anything. Just go for a walk, and you'll be amazed by like what will happen. I'm just like, just do something. Like, but it's just more of a testament, I guess. Like, if you don't like something, change it. Like, just do
Absolutely.
something.
Yeah.
Anything. One step
Anything.
forward is better than no steps forward. So
I think aging or maturing definitely gets easier when you're surrounded by people that keep you grounded. And like both of you are cornerstones for me, like to keep me grounded, to keep me honest. Especially you, Michelle, with all the shit that I've gone through. The person that I was in college, coming to you with like, hey, is this right or is this right? Like, am I in the wrong? And just being able to have somebody who's brutally honest with you, like it's a privilege to have that kind of friendship. So I appreciate the grounding that you provide for me. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I want to wrap it up with the whole conversation today was just about how friends evolve and the real ones they keep you rooted in who we are and who we become as your circle gets more finite. Those people start to show and they start to shine, and people grow with you in different ages. And I think it's uh, the theme that we've had with so many guests where it's very important to keep like genuine people in your group, and that's why we're here today. That's why I have you. So I ask you, Michelle, what's kind of your last word for anybody listening, whether it's about friendship or aging or maturing, leave us with one last thing for the episode.
I would say just to check in with your loved ones, your friends and family. Just a simple text goes such a long way. And Nick, as you said earlier, when you think about it, do it, because I'll think about it, and if I don't do it right away, then I'll forget. But you would be surprised at just what a simple "Hey, thinking of you" text can mean to someone.
Yeah, it's that easy. The minute you think about it, in today's day and age, it takes 2 seconds to throw a text out to somebody. So if they cross your mind, just throw it out there. Hey, hope you're doing well. That's simple. It doesn't have to be anything more than that. And I think it's lost on a lot of people. That's all it takes. It doesn't take, an hour-long conversation. It literally takes the minute you think about anybody, just do that. And that goes a long way.
What do the pictures say? It takes 13 minutes or something to have a conversation to somebody. No, I'll figure it out later. I'll find it. I'll post it. It's something about taking 13 minutes to talk to you, to change your life or change the way you think. I don't know. Something about friends. Something about friends and having 13 minutes. That's all I know. There's
dude,
a caption tag
your brain is. We need to study it.
I also want to thank you both for having me on this podcast. It was so fun.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have had you here. I know that we had our fun technical difficulties, but we pivot. It is what it is. I love you, and I'm so happy you were able to find the time to be here. And is there anywhere that the people listening can find you on social media if you want to share your foodie Instagram?
I think it's just it's on my Instagram at Michelle. Very original.
I'm surprised you never got into it like a real thing like your sister did.
It's a lot of work. My younger sister's in social media, and dude, it's a lot.
I know it's a lot.
No, thank you. To beat the algorithm.
I will give you a ton of recommendations if you reach out.
There you go.
All right, beautiful. Nick, any last words from you, my friend?
No, thank you for coming on. It was a lot of fun. This was one of the funner episodes for sure. Even with the technical difficulties. I personally. No, I don't. Not the. This one was especially when she's just talking to me and you were just looking at each other. Just I got nothing. Nothing.
One day when we can share the video clips, that's gonna be the clip. Just silence.
Yeah, no, I think this is when we start clipping for sure.
Silence and hand movements.
Yeah, just us laughing.
These are her hand movements. I'm like, what could she be talking about in this moment right here?
I can't wait to listen to it.
If any part of today's episode hit home, please share it with a friend. Tag us at CrodsPod on Instagram. Help us keep this conversation going. We do drop new episodes every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. We are live on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. If you have a story, a topic, or you just need to vent, please email us at crodspod@gmail.com. As always, we want to hear from you. We are here to talk to or talk for you. Our safe space is your outlet. And Michelle, you said this earlier in the episode, but until next time, live fast, eat ass, or just age like fine wine.
We're not perfect. Them demons watching, but they will not stop.